Hello everyone, I am Xerix Lord Sentinel, and welcome back to Century of Economy 2018. We've got a long report ahead, so sit tight and enjoy. The hired subs get into formation around the cursed territory, while the Baohuan has hidden in the fog. The Fuege is set upon by the Phantom, who manages to take out 2 masts. The counter continues as the Fuege is dismasted. Meanwhile, back home, the English have sent a strike squad south and have attacked the Spanish. The Leicester dismasted the Algeciras and went on to take a mast off of the Corazon Dorado, while the Dauntless has caught the Fathom above the water and eliminated a segment. Even more troubling, the Endeavour pops through a whirlpool and uses an extra action to derelict the San Cristobal. The Americans and Kursk work together, briefly, to eliminate one of the Krakens. The Colossus destroys the pirate trading port. More American ships come out of the eastern portal. The pirates could be in trouble. The Cristobal repaired a mast and split, opening up the lines of fire for the church on the cliff by the sea, which went an impressive 6 for 6 to take 3 masts off of the Endeavour. The Corazon and Diablo flotilla team up to take 2 masts off of the Leicester. An overhead shot of the Spanish crusade. The Acorazado has fought off her opponents and is in a strong position, while the Neptuno, El Cruzado Nuevo, and Santo Colombo moved northward, toward Aguanvarga-Cali and the cursed trading port. The Muerte and Muerte del Diablo team up to sink the Phantom. The Galleon de Gibraltar has moved in and towed the Fuege out of harm's way. As a result of the Kraken ruling successfully, many of the cursed gunships are docked at home, where they cannot be shot. The Spanish have backed the Zeus into a corner, with only 3 masts left standing. The massive junk is hiding behind the Prussian Crown while she repairs. The Crown has taken 2 masts off of the Black Pearl. At Fortaleza, the Premier Caballero and El Leon repair. The Obago sails up and takes a mast off of the Serviente. The pirate gunship squad, surrounding the former French home island, with the Kraken spread out behind them, one of which has snagged the Hangman's Joke. With extra actions available, and with the Spanish so close, the Kursk are able to hit and run, sailing out and shooting, and then sailing back home. So far this has worked. The Muerte is down to only 1 mast. The English squad successfully derelicts the Corazon Dorado and sinks the Diablo flotilla. The Zeus is slowly repairing. The pirate gunships are slowly coming back home, responding to the American threat. Angelica eyes the Colossus hungrily. At this point it was time for a resource change. The dice were rolled, with a 2 and a 9 coming up. This meant that for the next 9 rounds, medicine will be very valuable, a resource the Americans had in plenty. However, this was no ordinary resource change, as the gold islands have refilled and gold has appeared on the shipwrecks. Most of this gold is unique treasure, however, with a mix of silver and other valuable goodies. The Cursed explore their colony and find the first wave of treasures. Sunken treasure would be worth 9 gold to start, but rum and plague would slow down the ship that found it. Realizing that the English would likely not stop, the Spanish spent a good chunk of gold and launched a decked-out El Cruzado from the trading port on Kanohi Island. For those not familiar, my favorite El Cruzado setup goes something as follows. Luis Zuan from Mysterious Islands, Captain Alrico Castro from Spanish Main, Nemesio Diaz, Joaquin Vega, Duke Marcos Vaccaro, and a helmsman. This completely maxes out the Cruzado's point space. The Interceptor and the English now look at the unguarded Spanish trading port. The Leicester is damaged and makes for home, while the Gallows and Dauntless team up to sink both the Corazon Dorado and El Algeciras, killing Spanish Fleet Admiral Sebastian Salazar. Using a double action, the Gallows moves on and demolishes the Spanish trading port. HMS Alexander explores for the English and finds a plethora of UTs. Message in a bottle yanked her to another English island, and the English used Lost to add 3 reefs to the barrier between them and the southern part of the ocean. The Colossus got her extra action and went 4 or 5 to take 2 segments from Angelica, and then used her second action to jump into the fog, along with her other compatriots. The Deliverance tried to bombard the American military port, but did not demolish it. The port responded with a perfect shoot action, taking off 2 masts. The Spanish set about exterminating the pirates, with the Leon and Premier Caballero doing massive damage to the Zeus, while the Rampage engages the Prussian crown. The San Cristobal and Garante repair at sea. Both Del Nero and Victor agree that the English pose more of a threat than the pirates. Also, with Sebastian Salazar dead, command of the Spanish Navy falls entirely on Victor. Being more pragmatic than Salazar, the Spanish crusade may come to an end soon. The Acorazado moves out, but is delayed by the Kraken, whose ability forces off her helmsman, or else one of her valuable named crew. The Spanish have demolished the cursed trading port, and have laid siege to Aguanvari. The Bloody Blade is derelict with fire masts, and more Spanish ships are entering the theater. The Fuerza de Dios, Galleon de Gibraltar, and Ocean's Edge Acorazado move toward the other cursed trading port, with intentions to demolish it and give the Fuega a place to repair. However, using their hit-and-run tactics, the cursed are able to sink the Fuega. The King Jones was able to do massive damage to the galleon before running for home. The Spanish are hit hard in the cursed theater, with many ships taking damage. The situation has changed somewhat, with the Kraken being a massive thorn in everyone's side. The pirate Flying Dutchman is sunk, but is eternal and so pops up back at the pirate home island. The Justice takes 3 masts off of the Fool's Hope. At overhead of the Spanish cursed theater, looking from east to west. With 1 trading port demolished, the Spanish battle group moves on toward the cursed colony. The Spanish will have to draw the cursed out, away from their home island, if they want to finish them for good. Now without the Fuega, the Galleon, Fuerza, and Acorazado are still intent on completing their objective. The Americans take an uneventful play turn, but launch the Bellevue with Captain Stephen Rogers, Fiends of the Blood Islands, at the end of it. The Bao is repairing in the fog, from which the Sea Hag emerges and manages to eliminate 2 masts from the Acorazado. The Scything King Jones follow up, with the Scythe attacking the Acorazado and the King Jones looking to take on the Resolution and derelict Pescados de Plata. The Resolution is down to 1 mast, the Pescados is sunk, and the Scythe is given an extra action to drop her Scorpion Blade again, derelicting the Acorazado. The English explore another gold island and find a host of goodies. Aside from the unique treasures, the silver 2 in the upper right is worth twice its printed value. Angelica successfully swoops against the Justice, opening the salvo of a pirate attack. The Cordoba explored the western portal and found some cannibals, along with a few other things. I don't think you can see it too well, but the 7 and 4 are from the Davy Jones Cursed Super Rare. The coins are somewhat translucent. These coins are worth their printed value, but will also give a ship carrying one of them the Ghost Ship ability. The Trinity and Cristo del Obispo dock at the former trading port for the Cursed. There are massive amounts of stock resources still on the island, and the Spanish would like to get some of those resources home. But how to do it? That's how! Using an extra action, one of them explores the island for the Spanish, and they build El Puerto Blanco at the end of their turn, giving the Spanish a place to repair their ships in cursed waters, and giving them a launch point for some gold ships to take the stocked resources. The pirates explore their own gold island and find lots of shiny goodies. The middle 3 coins are sparkly silver coins, which will be worth 3 times their printed value. The pirates have forced the Americans out of their waters, and Thompson's Island is nearly destroyed. Right before it was destroyed, the Cursed launched the Bloody Sea, from Return of Davy Jones, from their besieged trading port. Here, the sea tears into the Fuerza de Dios, while the Scythe has cut up to the Galleon de Gibraltar and used her scythe blade to derelict the ship. Terox was also summoned from the depths at the end of the last Cursed turn. Here, he surrounds the Neptuno. The King Jones sinks the Resolution, while the Muerto Rapida looks on. El Rafael is damaged, but Agunvare Gacali is nearly destroyed. The Interceptor looks to engage the Spanish near Kanohi and the portal. Standing guard is the Mano de Dios, from Return of Davy Jones, and the Granada. English ships continue to head toward the Spanish. Here, the Richards and Titan make full sail for Spanish waters. The Ciel Español, with Commandant Luis de Alva, forms a rough defensive line, with your Cruzado backing her up. But will it be enough to stop the English tide? The Reconquistador is sunk by the Titan and Richards. La Serviente is the sole ship defending Fortaleza Dorada, and hits the Raven's neck with a fire pot. In the background, the Leon, Caballero, Santa Ana, and Rampage have devastated the pirate ships in their crosshairs. The San Cristobal and Black Pearl make full sail toward the portal, and the English. The Garante is taken in by a storm, but is not sunk immediately. However, her odds of surviving are slim, since the Spanish will need to roll a 1 on their next turn to keep her alive, so she could potentially escape. The Forza is devastated by the Bloody Sea, and the Scythe tries to sink the Galleon, but fails. The Curse caught the Hephaestus on the surface, and with fire and some extra actions, sink the sub. The English roll through the Spanish defense, with the Ciel Español being sunk and the Granada derelict. The Cruzado has had a mast eliminated, but is close to the trading port where she can dock to repair. However, the Gallows, Burma, Endeavour, Titan, Leicester, and Bretwalda are storming the Spanish defenses, overwhelming them with numbers and sheer firepower. The Monte Cristo and La Asesina, from Return of Davy Jones, are derelict, and the Catedral del Mar is challenging the Bretwalda. Spanish morale is lifted when the Leon sinks the Zeus. The Spanish have demolished the Cursed colony, and have destroyed all of their trading ports. However, the Rafael is sunk, the Acorazado is derelict, and the Neptuno and Muerta are damaged. Captains and Admiralty are beginning to weigh the cost of keeping up the crusade. The Spanish rolled the 1 they needed to keep the Garante alive, but alas, her oarsman was cancelled by the Kraken. This meant that she would have perished. However, the English used Dr. Faust, from Fiend to the Blood Islands, to move the Garante out of the storm. The English behavior is questionable, and when asked about their actions, they replied they would rather sink the Garante in battle rather than have her sunk in a storm. The Catedral del Mar is sunk by a combination of the Bretwalda and the Endeavour. On the left, the Titan and Burma have rammed into the Dr. Corazado, but have not taken out a mast. The Granada is sunk. Using double actions, the Titan and Burma manage to take off 2 of the Corazado's masts. The Bloody Sea breaks off her action against the Fuerza de Dios. Both ships are badly damaged at this point. The Revenant flees through a whirlpool, and puts out the fire given to her by the Neptuno. The Neptuno tries and fails to hit the Hellhound with a fire shot, and fails her board against the Hound as well, resulting in the loss of all of her crew. The Santissima Trinidad had finished adding extra cannons, and was on her way to the Kanohi Island, but was waylaid by the English, who forced her through a whirlpool, emerging near the pirate Kraken. The Leicester derelicts the Black Pearl. The Bretwalda tracks down the Providence, but fails her broadside's attack. The Royal Algernon fires on the trading port, damaging it. 2 more hits would eliminate it. The Swallow comes about and sinks the Black Pearl. The RNS Blood Pact, from Dark Tides, finishes off the Monte Cristo, and now eyes the Assassina. Given an extra action, the English demolish the trading port on Kanohi Island. Instead of the Blood Pact, the Endeavour sinks the Assassina. The Swallow moved on and damaged the San Cristobal, eliminating her 2 back masts. The Leicester hits the Mano de Dios with a fire pot, dooming the ship. The Spanish spend what little gold they have left and put forth El Cazador del Pirata with the captain, helmsman, musketeer, firepot specialist, and oarsman. El Extremadura with the captain, helmsman, and firepot specialist. El Relampago with the captain, helmsman, cannoneer, and oarsman. The Hellhound caught up to the Muerte and took off a mast, and won the board against her, killing all of her crew. However, the Cristo del Obispo was near, and will likely exact vengeance upon the Hellhound on the Spanish turn. Despite their damage, the Fuerza and Bloody Sea continue to fight, though neither ship eliminates a mast. The Sea Devil strikes! Using her speed and accurate cannons, the Devil jumps out and demolishes El Puerto Blanco. The English are coming. The Jape was cancelled by the Rampage, but has rammed her, becoming pinned. The Leon and Santa Ana are all that stands between the pirates and unprotected Spanish runners. The Swallow was devastated by the Premier Caballero, which got her SAT and was able to eliminate 2 masts. Crossing her stern, the Extremadura managed to eliminate 1 more and hit with her firepot specialist. On the left, Victor de Alva has allowed his shipwright to repair the Cristobal's 2 missing masts. Using her own double action, the Muerte del Diablo derelicts the Sea Devil. As predicted, the Cristo del Obispo derelicts the Hellhound, while the Muerte limps away, with the Resolution coming to watch over her. The Santissima and her Corazado use whirlpools to get back to safe waters, and begin repairing. The pirates end their turn by buying some crew for the Cursed Blade and Silver Dagger, converting the ships into mid-sized gunships. The King Jones derelicts the Santo Colombo. The Grinder exacts revenge on the Crystal, hitting her twice and with a firepot specialist. Esquel's Hand and Flying Dutchman take the Muerte del Diablo down to 1 mast. The Spilled Salt re-explores an island for the Cursed, finding metals. With the Spanish largely retreating, Cursed runners are beginning to move from their berths at the Cursed home island. The Acorazado Nuevo is cancelled by Madame Maria on the Sea Hag, which allows the Grim Reaper and other Cursed ships to take off 2 of her masts. The Extremadura is attacked by the Richards and loses a mast to the larger English ship. The English use chain towing to try and save the Leicester from burning. However, they realize that doing so is not possible, and resort to saving her crew with the Dauntless. The Fathom is brought to the surface by the Rye. The Muerte del Diablo and Crystal both escape from cursed waters, and will look to repair at the crowded church on the cliff by the sea. Using her slim profile, the Extremadura slips in next to the Burma and lights her on fire. Meanwhile, the Richards is taken to 1 mast by a combination of the Cristobal and Relampago. The Darkhawk 2 finally sinks the Santos Romanos, which had been derelict behind pirate lines this whole time. The Santa Ana is taken down to 2 masts by a combination of the Raven's Neck and Longshanks. The Serviente repairs, while the Rampage and Fortaleza do their best to sink the Jape. The Albago sinks the Leon. Vengeance for the Zeus! The Broken Key is taken in by a storm, and is instantly sunk. The pirates are sad to see her go, for even with all rank 3 cannons, she went for 6 consecutive successful broadsides attacks. The Kraken is becoming quite bothersome. Succeeding at its role brings all subs to the surface, and the Cursed take advantage, taking a segment off of the Mobilis. The Nuevo is rendered derelict by the Guishan. With the subs on the surface, the Cursed ram into the Mobilis, removing her final segment. Elsewhere, the Revenant does the same to the Terror. The Burma gains another fire mast, and the Titan loses 1 to their Cruzado. Behind the Titan is the RNS Legacy, from Fiends of the Blood Islands, equipped with world-hating and extended range. The English have placed Ming's Marauders on her, allowing her to shoot through other ships. Here she has taken 2 masts off of the Acorazado. The Relampago and Cazador are both rendered derelict. An overhead shot of the area. The Extremadura has been sunk, and more English ships are flooding the area. La Muerte and the Fuerza de Dios emerge from a whirlpool by the Spanish home, and lose a mast in the process. The Nuevo was barely able to escape cursed waters, and has emerged from the whirlpool by the fort. The rover explored a wreck and found a few interesting things. The Pirate Codex wiped out all face-up UTs, including the natives, rats, and rum the rover found. However, the rover also found Elizabeth's Piece of 8, Celestine's charts, Dead Man's Chest, and Curse of Davy Jones. These were not affected since they were found after the Pirate Codex took effect. At the end of their turn, the pirates spent most of their gold to launch several gunships and a home island raiding squad. The Pioneer, with a captain, helmsman, and cannoneer. The Fool's Gold, with a captain, helmsman, cannoneer, and musketeer. The Black Diamond, with a captain, helmsman, cannoneer, and musketeer. The Ranger, with a captain, helmsman, cannoneer, and musketeer. The Treasure, with a captain, helmsman, and firepot specialist. The Black Arrow, with a captain, helmsman, and musketeer. Dragon's Breath, with a captain, helmsman, musketeer, and cannoneer. The Accused, with a captain, helmsman, cannoneer, and firepot specialist. HMS Ricketts, with a captain and helmsman. The Recreant, with a captain, helmsman, cannoneer, and firepot specialist. El Ladron, with a captain, helmsman, and firepot specialist. The Freedom, with a helmsman. The Electric Eel, with a helmsman. The White Rose, with a helmsman. The Siren Song, with a helmsman. The Sea Nymph, with a helmsman. The Gilded Monkey, with a helmsman. The Scarlet Star, from Pirates of the Dark Tides, with linked David Sage and a helmsman. The El Dorado, with a helmsman. And that wraps up this report. The Spanish have spent themselves on the Cursed and are being attacked by the English. The Americans are flying under the radar but are still struggling. The Cursed have survived a Spanish crusade and are beginning to recover, and the pirates have just launched. If you want to see what happens next, make sure you're subscribed. If you liked what you saw, hit that like button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see all of you next time.